You're listening to Supervision with a Vision, where we discuss all things supervision. I'm your host, Sarah, professional counselor, marriage and family therapist, play therapist, eating disorder specialist, and cookie lover, with my co-host, Heather, marriage and family therapist, certified Together in Texas counselor, a Texas transplant from California, and outdoor adventurer. Hi, welcome to Supervision with a Vision. Today, Heather and I are talking about the way that technology and self-regulation come together. Heather, our topic this week, or the article we read this week, is called What We Know About Self-Regulation and Technology Among Kids, published in Psychology Today, 2025. The first point is that people are persuaded by digital technology.
Yeah, I think it's everywhere, right? Adults, kids, any age. I just think about the things that like pop up either in your feed or things that change, like how you look, like how many times have you seen an advertisement because you're waiting on something on your phone and then you're like all of a sudden really listening to the advertisement, like you're like, oh wait, this was an advertisement, like not even knowing that you were.
Well, I mean, a lot of time and money goes into
creating
that so that it catches our interest and knowing what will be most interesting to us at what time.
Right.
Before we hit start, I was saying I just listened to a podcast about Saturday morning cartoons in the U.S. in the 80s, 70s and 80s. And some of the things they said, I recognized as having been, that's how it worked. But, they said that, so Saturday mornings between, I would say like 8 in the morning until like 11.
Sure. I mean,
like a good chunk of several hours in a row. All the programming on all the major TV stations was just for kids.
Right.
It was cartoons, and all the advertisements were also geared towards
the next toy kids. And the next thing for kids.
And that's what they said, that it was really feeding on itself, that a lot of the big hit cartoons were actually toys first.
Oh, interesting. Instead of the okay. Right.
Yeah. And that then when it was a big hit from just the commercial.
Right.
Because that's the only way that kids knew about this toy was from a commercial. When it would become popular, then they would turn it into a cartoon.
Got it. Okay.
So they named off a handful, like My Little Ponies and Care Bears.
Sure. Yep.
Were not, they weren't characters. Right. They were just toys.
And
then they turned them into a cartoon because the advertisement was so effective.
Interesting.
They also talked about that the majority of all these commercials were toys and sugary foods.
Oh, okay. So I can see that. Like
candy or cereal.
The
sweet cereals. And that later on, as the years went on in this Saturday morning cartoon thing, they switched, or the government actually required that a certain percentage of the cartoons or the commercials also included healthy food options.
So then we got apple juice ads and
the incredible edible egg.
Okay. Yes.
Or I think there were some something about like the Federal Drug Administration and milk and eggs or something.
Oh yeah,
right?
something. Yeah, and I also remember one. Happy Cows, and it was about like milk and cheese and
so it does, I mean, this is geared towards people on purpose. It's not on accident. These things are catching our attention or persuading us. So what do we do with that? Does that just mean we give in and we buy all the cereal?
I certainly hope not.
I had a lot of Care Bears. So I
really liked my Care Bears.
I hope that this means that we are more aware as consumers.
Sure. Yes.
That it means not that we can prevent being persuaded sometimes, but we're just more aware that that's what's happening.
Sure.
And so we can make a choice,
whether
we're going to feed
follow
into that or not. Okay. The next point in the article is that technology and connection can help combine together, can help reduce problem behavior.
Sure. I think in the right way. I think as far as the connection part go, we saw a lot of this with kids, like during COVID, being able to connect with friends that they would have seen at school, but they saw them on their classroom their Google Classroom Live, all the things that they saw their friends, and then it was an opportunity to connect. You couldn't really be playing in person with people, but you could play games online. You could do different things, which I think kind of broke, in our family at least, some rules I had about that.
Yeah.
Because,
to adjust.
Yeah. It changed.
This makes me think about a handful of different things, but like the way that we teach now.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Regardless of like COVID requirements, are we allowed or not,
Right.
or are we not allowed? But even the school districts around here, so much of their education is a hybrid of being in person in the classroom and also engaging with technology in some way.
That my children both have been given different types at each school, but like Chromebooks or like a device to do their work on. They don't get paid. I mean, it's very rare if there's any paper in their backpack. Like it's strange and bizarre, but on the times that like someone's been out of school for being sick or something, their work is completed the same day. Yeah. Most of the time, because it's just already available for them to complete. Like they can just click on and get to it.
I'm soon, in a couple of months, starting a adjunct position at a university, and part of the program is changing and adjusting and using technology. One of their discussions has been, what if practicum students, which here in the U.S. that means that students who have just started a counseling program, maybe even the very first week,
right?
They're called practicum students. Instead of seeing an actual client, or instead of even practicing on each other, would be using an AI tool. And practicing with an AI client.
That's interesting. You get a lot of feedback that way about skills and about,
well, I think the university is conflicted. Part of the faculty and staff like this idea and think it could be really beneficial, and part feel like this is a really terrible thing.
Right.
I think I'm in between. I think that's why I bring it up when we're talking about this point, that I think you can't just hit start or hit play and let it run and do its thing. You need the technology and human connection,
right,
to make it most valuable or most useful. That I can envision a student working with an AI client, but then sitting and getting feedback from their professor, their faculty, on how how it was realistic, how it was not realistic, how they could improve, what they did well. So the feedback part would make that most useful. That an AI tool, even if it's a really good one, would sometimes give like a canned response or something that's not very realistic,
or not completely understand the dynamics, right? Because human dynamics are so different between.
So I think there's room for to have the technology and the connection together.
Well, I think even how we do relationships, right? Like think about kids that like go to different schools. My son switched schools a couple years ago, and he's been able to still be really good friends with his friends at his old school because of technology and because of things that they'll do together. And it's just about having that. I
also think, though, what happens with technology with no connection? Miscommunications, sometimes, or problems. And you try and have a whole conversation with just text.
Yeah.
How many miscommunications?
You lose tone. You lose. Oh yeah, so much.
It's been a couple of months now, but I was pretty proud of myself that I had a teenager client who was upset about a friendship problem.
Right.
And she was describing that she was texting with one friend while she was FaceTiming with two different friends, and that those friends were fighting and she was kind of stuck in the middle.
Okay.
And that the friend she was texting with then said, well, why don't we call them? The two that she was already FaceTiming with. And then she felt like she was kind of caught, like, now I have to say,
well, I'm
actually talking to them. And then on top of that, she said so she's getting, all upset and nervous, and she feels stuck in the middle. She could see that the person who was texting her, that their location was moving and he was coming over.
Oh, goodness.
And I was kind of impressed with myself that I followed all of that and could, understand the conflict and how upsetting it was. But all of that disconnection through the technology and really what they ended up, they needed some actual connection to avoid miscommunication, to resolve the problem. So I think technology, so we're saying technology can be a really useful tool.
Right.
There are points or certain times where it can't do everything.
Sure.
And then we need
We need more
some
intervention.
connection
Yep.
in order to avoid some problems. The last point in our article is that greater self-regulation reduces problem technology use.
Sure. Being aware of how, if you're just sitting and scrolling, like, how are you feeling right now? Do you need, there's a difference between having the desire to like, whew, I need to unwind. And all of a sudden it's 40 minutes later and you're like scrolling random videos and you're like, oh, I didn't really unwind. Kind of worked up now.
Or what about, or I mean, the idea of fake news.
Oh, sure. That's actually a good example.
That,
yeah.
I mean, if we don't have our own skills to differentiate or make our own decisions, then we just take things in without any filter.
Right.
I mean, not unlike the commercial idea, right?
True.
That if we just like sit in front of our TV and absorb 4 hours worth of cartoons, and all the commercials
you
that
really now want Lucky Charms, okay?
They sound really good. I want some Lucky Charms and a My Little Pony.
Right. And life is better.
Right. That if we don't have that awareness, or we're not also using some of our own skills.
Sure.
Then it could create some technology problems.
Well, and just like the getting sucked into the technology, not being able to like see out what reality is.
I'm trying not to scroll very much lately, or even reduce how much I'm scrolling. But when I do catch myself doing it a little bit, like every single thing I look at, I think, okay, but is that an AI picture?
Right. Is that real?
I mean, but is that a real picture?
Right.
I don't even know anymore. I can't tell. I'm going to assume that it's a fake picture.
Right. You're just going to, nothing is going to be amazing ever again because we're going to assume it's fake.
Sad. Yeah. Like an amazing sunset.
Right.
Somebody probably made that one.
Right.
Like, oh, it is sad.
It's very sad, but it's true. It's where we're living now.
So these skills are self-regulation that we're talking about. It could be to help us filter or know what's good or reasonable or what's real.
Like, what's real versus what's just kind of sensationalized or like attention grabbing.
And also we're saying that our skills help us know when enough is enough.
Sure.
Or know how we are impacted by
and
the things we're saying.
And what we know as adults is so different than what kids know. Like what they're being impacted by.
So then, us as counselors, how are we helping people with that? All this technology's out there that's
can be great,
that's affecting us or influencing us. That technology and connection really is what makes the magic happen, and that if we don't have skills or abilities to manage some of this, technology creates problems.
Yeah.
So how do you see that happening in supervision? What are you doing in supervision that touches on this?
In supervision, I'm pretty open with my supervisees. They can kind of text or call me pretty much most of the time, and I get to them if I can. But one of the things I've always said is like, if it's a text and I'm somewhere where I can answer, I will. But if it's a serious problem, I'm going to need you to pick up the phone and call me. You can text me and say, let's talk about this.
So you're saying that's the part of technology and connection.
Yeah.
That you've already communicated to them what your expectation is related to connection.
In session, I see it play out with couples. They argue over text. Or one thinks they're arguing and the other one isn't arguing. But it's perceived that they're arguing.
Yeah.
And so we have to have conversations about, if these are hot topics, like we don't just text about them. We sit down.
That makes me more appreciative of the fact that I don't see couples.
Right.
Sounds
You're like, no.
really not fun. What about people and how they can be persuaded by technology? Does that happen in supervision?
Recently we had something pop up.
Yeah.
Somebody that wanted to go to a training that looked really cool. And then when we started, I was like, oh, I actually haven't heard of that, which is strange that it didn't hit, and we started digging into it a little bit. And it was I'm not going to say it was fraudulent because it really was a training, but it was a training that was so marked up on something that did not need to be it's not the it thing right now. It's not, it's just marked up to look amazing.
It convinced you.
Right.
And her.
Well, it convinced her. Yeah, it convinced her. And then I was like, generally speaking, if it doesn't hit everyone, if it's not a mass emailing from a company we know, it's probably not. You got to dig a little to see who's
Yeah.
presenting. What
Even
do they
if
know?
it is.
Yeah, sometimes that's true.
I mean, I won't name names, but I can think of a company that
hmm
does an awful lot of very effective marketing, and I would not pay, not even that. I wouldn't go for free to
Right.
some of the
To wait.
trainings.
Yeah, the trainings are.
Um, what about in the United States, we have all these companies. There's not a ton, but there's a good handful of companies that appeal to someone who wants to go into private practice.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes it feel like, well, I mean, what they're selling is the
hmm
convenience
Right.
of kind of a one-stop shop. And I don't know, I really feel like it's a very personal decision. I feel like I've known people who are really happy
hmm
to
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 dive in and be part of that,
to
or
work
yeah.
with them, and others that felt like they got the rug pulled out from under them.
Yeah, I think it's very true.
And it's such a complicated decision with so many moving parts. It can be tricky to
Right.
understand.
Right.
So sometimes that type of digital technology can be really
Absolutely.
persuasive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you, in supervision, would you help someone navigate that or think about that? Or do you feel like that's a little outside of supervision?
I think I have helped someone navigate that. They had multiple sites going on at one time, and then also were working with this company to like start their own thing, and kind of had some misleadings about how fast they could get 20 clients, and how, I mean, just like some things that I've done this a long time, and that does not happen within 2 weeks. Like, that's just not the reality of it.
I mean,
Nor do you want it to happen.
That's what I was going to say, that I've had to explain to people, you don't want 20 new clients in a week
No,
or 2
that's
weeks.
horrible.
That would be
But,
not.
the marketing for that, and look how fast we're going to get you up off the ground. And you won't need to have these other, she was at 2 different locations on top of this. Like, you won't need these other side locations anymore. And just like, and the marketing press, and for her to feel like, this is the only way I can do it. I can't do it on my own without their help. Like, feeling very much like, this is the answer. And so when we started talking about it, and then how much they take and charge and all the different things, it was kind of this reality of like, yeah, it's probably not as good as what you have.
Not
Yeah.
as shiny and perfect as you thought it would be. What about the last point in the article? Greater self-regulation reduces problem technology use in supervision?
Maybe. I don't know if I can think of ones in supervision, because I don't think I gravitate that way.
I think that, I mean, I remember when I wasn't using technology at all in counseling until COVID.
Okay.
And then I had to use it at least for a couple of months, 100%.
Right.
I didn't like the disconnection, and my eyes hurt.
Okay.
I actually realized my whole body was hurting.
Right. You're not holding your body correctly as you would sit with a client.
Right. I wasn't comfortable, so I was like leaning in, and also like I remember my neck and face muscles felt tired.
Yes, I remember
because I
that.
was trying to be like overly expressive, because I felt like there was such a distance through the technology between the client and I.
It's true.
That I wish I remembered exactly how long before I realized I'm hurting myself.
Right. This is not good.
This is miserable. And that I then made some very specific changes to help address that. That like I moved my chair, I got something different to put my computer on so that it was at an appropriate height. Right. And the right distance from my face. And I one of the things I did was I created an online classroom. Lots of teachers did that too, as a tool to again to help me have more connection versus feeling so disconnected. So yeah, but that wasn't. We're the counselors, right? We have good skills and good self-regulation. That took me several weeks to realize what's happening to me. Why? What's the problem?
Why am I? Yeah. Oh, I'm physically hurting and I'm mentally drained. What is going on? Yeah.
And what adjustments would make sense or help? So, Heather and I would love to know about some of your self-regulation that helps you when you're using technology in counseling. And as always, we'd love to hear about suggestions for future episodes. Thanks today for listening to Supervision with a Vision. You've been listening to Supervision with a Vision. Head on over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Therapy Academy to join the conversation and get show notes. We'll be back next week with more Supervision with a Vision.